Before we begin this incredible story, if you enjoy tales of justice and transformation, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. Trust me, you won't want to miss how this ends. I was lowering myself into the chair when I felt it violently pulled backward. My body had no time to react. I hit the floor hard, the impact knocking the air from my lungs. Pain shot through my back like lightning. Who sits first at the table in my house is me, you poor old woman with no future. Jessica's voice cut through the shock. Her friends gasped, then one giggled nervously. Soon they were all laughing, pretending this was an accident. From the living room I heard the football match. Marcus was there. He heard everything. I know because I heard when he turned up the volume. Goal! Manchester United scores. My grandson had chosen a football match over me. But what neither of them knew was that I still had one last card to play, a card that would destroy everything. My name is Catherine Williams. I am 74 years old, and until that moment I believed blindly in family loyalty. What a fool I was. 8 months ago, I buried my husband George. 52 years of marriage ended when his heart gave up while reading the newspaper. I was left alone in our cottage in the Cotswolds, surrounded by memories that hurt to touch. Marcus, my only grandson, insisted I move in with him and his wife in London. You can't be alone at your age, Gran. It's dangerous. I wanted to believe him. So I packed my life into 4 suitcases and left behind everything George and I had built together. Marcus's flat was in Kensington, modern and expensive looking. Jessica greeted me with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Welcome, Catherine. Not Gran. Just Catherine, as if I were a stranger. I settled into the small guest room at the end of the hall. That was my new role, existing without being in the way. I got up at 6 every morning, made breakfast. Marcus mumbled thanks without looking up. Jessica appeared later, criticizing everything. The coffee is weak. The eggs are too salty. You can't do anything right. You're completely useless. Marcus was always present during these moments. He never said a word, just looked away, as if I wasn't his grandmother who had raised him after his parents died. Days turned into weeks. I cleaned, cooked, did laundry. I became a shadow, picking up crumbs, folding towels, trying to earn my place. But that evening, while setting the table for Jessica's dinner party, something inside me broke. She had invited 3 stylist friends, women with expensive bags who looked at me like furniture. I had spent all day preparing roasted chicken, glazed vegetables, homemade rolls, chocolate cake. The women sat with wine glasses talking about fashion shows. I went to sit in the corner chair, trying to be invisible. That was when she pulled it. I lay there for 10 seconds, pain radiating through my spine. Jessica had already returned to her seat. Well, as I was saying about Milan Fashion Week, something snapped. Not my body. Something deeper. I placed my hands on the floor and slowly pushed myself up, first to my knees, then to my feet. The conversation stopped. Jessica turned, irritated. Catherine, stop being dramatic. Go to your room. Dramatic. I looked at the table. The beautiful table I had spent all day preparing for people who treated me like garbage. I picked up the plate in front of Jessica. For a second, nobody understood. Then I threw it on the floor. Crash. You want dramatic? Another plate. Crash. The serving bowl. Crash. A wine glass. Crash. Jessica's friend screamed. She's lost her mind. Call someone. I walked into the kitchen. The saucepan still on the stove. I poured it onto the floor. The crystal glasses from the cabinet. Crash, crash, crash. Marcus, your crazy grandmother is destroying my kitchen. I pulled open cabinets. Plates tumbled out. The wedding photo on the wall. It hit the floor and shattered. Then Marcus appeared. He froze, his face white. Me in the middle of destruction holding a cast iron skillet. Food everywhere. Glass everywhere. Grant, what did you do? What did I do? My voice came out deadly calm. I cooked all day. I tried to be invisible like you wanted. And your wife pulled my chair and called me a poor old woman with no future while her friends laughed. And you heard me hit the floor and turned up Manchester United. He looked down, couldn't meet my eyes. So what did I do? I stopped pretending this is a home. I stopped pretending I'm family here. She's insane. Jessica stepped forward. Marcus, I want her out. Tonight. I laughed without humor. Don't worry, Jessica. I wouldn't stay another second if you paid me. I dropped the skillet with a final clang. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Catherine, you went too far. But what should I have done? Crawl to my room in silence? I'd love to know your answer. I'll be gone by morning. I walked to my room and locked the door. Behind me, Jessica screamed about calling the police. Marcus said nothing. He never did. I sat on my bed, body shaking. Not from fear, from release. I had just destroyed a kitchen and felt absolutely nothing. No regret. Just cold emptiness, where my love for Marcus used to be. At dawn, I heard a soft knock. Gran, I'm calling you a taxi. Here's $300. You can find a hotel while you figure things out. Something slid under the door. Cash. He had pushed money under the door like I was someone he owed, not the woman who raised him. $300 for 52 years of love, for raising him after his parents died. I packed slowly and walked out. Marcus stood by the door, hands in pockets, staring at his shoes. I walked past without a word. The taxi took me to a cheap motel on the outskirts. $40 a night. With $300, I could survive a week at most. I sat on that bed and cried, deep sobs from somewhere dark in my chest. I cried for George, for Marcus, for myself. The days blurred. I sent messages. Marcus, I need to talk. Nothing. Marcus, I'm running out of money. Silence. Messages marked as read, never answered. A week later, the money ran out. The manager knocked. I'm sorry, those are the rules. I packed and walked out, not knowing where to go. I ended up in Hyde Park, benches under trees, tourists taking photos. I sat and watched life continue as if I didn't exist. That was my first night sleeping on the street. I didn't really sleep, just sat clutching my purse, startled by every noise. Days turned into survival. I searched bins behind Pret a Manger and Tesco. At first disgusted, but hunger is stronger than pride. Day-old sandwiches, bruised fruit. A church nearby served soup on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I stood in line with dozens of others, all with broken stories on their faces. Nights were the worst. Cold, long, full of fear. I thought about Marcus in his warm flat while I shivered under stars. One morning I tried a vending machine, fed in my last 2 pounds, pressed the button. The machine ground, then nothing. My money gone. The chocolate bar sat behind glass, mocking me. 2 weeks passed, maybe 3. I lost count. My clothes dirty, hair greasy. I had become invisible. Then something strange happened. While searching my suitcase for clean clothes, I found an envelope I didn't remember packing. Old, yellowed, with my name in George's handwriting. Inside was a letter and folded documents. My dearest Catherine, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I made investments for 30 years. Properties nobody wanted, in areas that became valuable. I did it thinking of your security. My breathing quickened. I unfolded the documents. Property deeds, investment certificates, bank accounts, an apartment building in Chelsea, another in Notting Hill, shops in Covent Garden, 11 properties total, and one address was painfully familiar. Kensington Gardens, apartment 4B, Marcus's flat. The flat where I'd been humiliated and discarded was mine. It had been mine all along. I felt something dark begin to grow. George's letter continued. Contact Edmund Hartley, my solicitor. He has everything. Catherine, never let anyone make you feel small. You're strong and capable. If someone treats you badly, remember you have power to defend yourself. I sat on that park bench, homeless, holding proof I wasn't destitute. I owned an estate worth millions, and I'd been eating from bins. Here's what haunts me. If I'd known about the money from the start, would I have tolerated the abuse? Or does it take losing everything to find your strength? I found a payphone and dialed. Hartley and Associates. I need Edmund Hartley. It's about George Williams. Who's speaking? Catherine Williams. George's widow. Urgency in the voice. Mrs. Williams? We've been trying to reach you for months. Where are you? I gave the address. They sent a car in 20 minutes. The black car arrived. The driver loaded my suitcases without comment. The interior smelled of leather. The law firm was in Canary Wharf, glass tower reflecting sky. 18th floor. Edmund Hartley was 50s. Grey hair, thin spectacles. Mrs. Williams, please sit. Water? My voice barely a whisper. Water, please. We've been trying to locate you. Your grandson said you'd moved but gave no address. My grandson kicked me out 3 weeks ago. I've been living on the street. Concern crossed his face. I'm very sorry. But your financial situation is solid. You own 11 properties in London, valued at $8 million, plus investments worth $1.5 million. Bank accounts with $400,000. Total estate, just under $10 million, $10 million. And I'd been searching rubbish bins. It can't be real. It's completely real. And one property is Kensington Gardens, apartment 4B. Your grandson Marcus Parker occupies it. He's been paying $350 monthly under a special agreement your husband granted. Market rate would be $2,200. $350. Marcus paid $350 for luxury in Kensington and kicked me out with $300. Can I change that agreement? You're the owner. You can do whatever you wish, but we must follow legal procedures. 30 days notice required. I don't want to evict them yet. I want them to pay market rate, $2,200. That's your right. Are you sure? Completely sure. He arranged a hotel, 5-star, Central London, executive suite. He handed me a bank card, $50,000 available for immediate expenses. And Mrs. Williams, your husband, left a second message. He took an envelope from his drawer. If my Catherine comes beaten down, give her this. Tell her I always knew she was stronger than she thought. I opened it. My love, if you're reading this, someone hurt you enough that you sought help. I built all this for you, for when I'd be gone and you'd need to defend yourself. Don't let anyone make you feel small. You're a giant. Now prove it. The hotel was everything my life had ceased to be. Soft carpets, lavender sheets, marble tub. I ran a bath and scrubbed weeks of street from my skin. Ordered room service, soup, bread, chicken. It wasn't just food. It was dignity. Over the next days, Edmund showed me my properties, explained rental contracts, maintenance, monthly income. Net income is $40,000 monthly. After taxes, $400,000 yearly. I need changes, I told him. Done discreetly. First, raise my grandson's rent to market price. Review all other special arrangements in that building. Everyone pays market value. We can create a legal entity, an LLC. Documents signed under that name. You're the hidden beneficiary. Perfect. Call it Thornfield Properties. I transformed. Salons cut and colored my hair. Elegant brown covering gray. Boutiques helped me choose tailored clothes. Pearl gray dresses, silk blouses, new glasses, manicure, subtle makeup. I wasn't becoming someone else. I was finding the Catherine buried under years of service. Edmund taught me to review financial reports, make business decisions. I learned quickly. You have natural talent, he said. Rent increase notices went out, signed by Thornfield Properties. Edmund kept me informed. One flat has called 9 times. Apartment 4B, Marcus Parker. Says there must be a mistake. No mistake. The special contract expired with Mr. Williams's death. Full rate or vacate. He's asking to speak with the owner. Tell him unavailable. All communications through you. Days passed. Marcus is trying to get a loan. He and his wife live beyond their means. Credit card debt. Financed car. The increase is putting pressure. Good. Edmund watched me carefully. I think he expected me to break, to say stop. But you can't pour from an empty cup. Marcus had drained me dry. So I said one word. Good. Some of you think I'm cruel. But where was mercy when I slept on benches? But I wasn't finished. Jessica worked as a personal stylist. One main client was a boutique in Mayfair that rented space in another of my properties. Edmund, the Mayfair client. How much do they pay? $1,800 monthly. Raise it to $2,800. The boutique didn't move but reduced expenses. First thing cut was external consultants, including Jessica. By the way, Edmund mentioned, your strategy has side effects. The Mayfair boutique cancelled vendor contracts. One was Jessica Parker. Weeks passed. Marcus is 2 months behind. $6,200 total owed. We can initiate eviction. Proceed. All legal protocols. Are you sure? It becomes public, filed in courts. Completely sure. The eviction hearing was at Central London County Court. I arrived early, sat last row. Charcoal suit, ivory blouse, hair in low bun. I look like a businesswoman. Marcus wouldn't recognize me. Marcus arrived with Jessica and a cheap solicitor. My grandson looked terrible. Weight lost, dark circles, messy hair. Jessica perfectly groomed, emerald dress, but fury in her expression. Edmund arrived on time. Immaculate. The judge entered, severe, efficient. Case 4789. Thornfield Properties versus Marcus Parker. Marcus's solicitor argued excessive increase, good payment history, deserves consideration. Edmund presented documents calmly. Original contract, increased notifications, late notices, all perfect. Furthermore, Your Honor, the defendant accumulated 2 months' arrears. Pattern of inability to fulfill obligations. Mr. Parker, you owe 2 months' rent? Marcus stood with difficulty. Yes, Your Honor, but the increase was sudden. You were notified 30 days in advance, as law requires. Do you have the money owed? Marcus looked at his solicitor, at Jessica, at the floor. No, Your Honor. Then I rule for the plaintiff. Mr. Parker, 10 days to vacate. The gavel struck. Jessica exploded. This is unfair. We have rights. Security moved toward them. They passed my bench without seeing me. Just another person in the room. 3 days later, Edmund called. Marcus requested a meeting with the owner. He's begging. Tell him I'll see him. Your office. Tomorrow, 3. Marcus entered and stopped dead seeing me. Infinite moment of silence. Confusion, disbelief, shock. Gran? Sit down, Marcus. My voice cold, controlled. He stumbled to the chair. Gran, what are you doing here? Where have you been? Lies. 0 calls, 0 messages after you kicked me out. Jessica said to give you space. Since when does your wife decide about your grandmother? Silence hung heavy. Then he looked up, question forming. Gran, why are you here? I'm not using his office. I'm his client. I am Thornfield Properties. Color drained completely. What? The building where you live? The other 10 buildings? It's all mine. Your grandfather left it to me. You've been paying rent to live in my property. He stood so fast the chair almost fell. No. Grandfather never mentioned. Why didn't you say anything? Would you have treated me better if you'd known? Marcus, respect shouldn't depend on money. I was your grandmother. That should have been enough. He fell back, crying. I'm sorry, I was a coward. I let Jessica hurt you. I turned up the football because it was easier to sacrifice you than risk my marriage. And now do you only feel sorry because you discovered I have money? I don't know. I don't know what kind of person I became. Your marriage is falling apart, isn't it? Jessica left. Says she won't stay with a loser who can't pay rent. I lost my job. 40,000 in debts. Credit ruined. In a week, I'm homeless. It's karma. Have you come to watch me suffer? Revenge? No. I wanted justice. I wanted you to understand what it feels like to be discarded. I wanted you to hit rock bottom, and did I? What do you think? I can't fall lower. No job, wife, money, home, dignity. Without you. Do you know the worst part? It wasn't the chair. It wasn't the street. It wasn't the bins. It was the television volume going up. Knowing my grandson heard me in pain and chose nothing. He sobbed into his hands. Will you ever forgive me? I don't know. Forgiveness isn't a switch. It's a process. First I need to see real change, not just desperate words. What can I do? Become the man your grandfather would be proud to call his grandson. I stood. The eviction proceeds. You have 10 days. When I find somewhere, can I call you? You can try, but I don't guarantee I'll answer. Not until I see actions, not words. Marcos vacated one day early, left the place clean, keys returned. Jessica disappeared, moved to Birmingham, blamed Marcus on social media. I renovated the apartment completely, rented it for $3,000 monthly, but I needed my own home. I chose a cottage in the Cotswolds. 2 bedrooms, large kitchen windows, wooden deck. I decorated myself, hung George's photographs but left space for new memories, planted roses in the garden. I started volunteering at a homeless shelter, serving food twice weekly. One afternoon I recognized someone, the man who'd offered me a sandwich in the park. "Nan, is that you? You look different." I found myself. 3 months passed without news from Marcus. Then one Saturday my phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello, Gran, it's me." His voice different, firmer. "Where are you?" "Small flat in East London. A studio, but it's mine. I pay for it with my warehouse job, night shift. Not glamorous, but honest. Paying debts little by little. Something loosened in my chest. I'm glad to hear that. Gran, I'm not asking for anything. Just wanted you to know I'm trying. Therapy every week. Working on understanding why I made those decisions." "That's good, Marcus." Pause. "Do you think someday we could have tea? Whenever you're ready. If you're ever ready." I looked at the roses blooming coral and yellow. The cottage I'd made my sanctuary. The life I'd built from ashes. Maybe. Someday. When we're both ready. "Okay, I can wait. I've learned patience." His voice cracked. "I love you, Gran. I know I don't have the right, but it's true." "I know," I whispered and hung up. I sat on the deck with tea, morning sun warming my face. I hadn't completely forgiven Marcus. Maybe I never would entirely. But there was something more important. I'd found peace. I'd found my strength. I'd found my voice. Some say I was too harsh, that I should have forgiven immediately, that family is family. But I wonder if you'd been thrown to the floor, kicked to the street, left to sleep on benches, would you forgive so easily? Tell me honestly, am I the villain? Or was I simply a woman who learned to defend herself? The wind rustled leaves. A bird sang. And I, Catherine Williams, 74, owner of 11 buildings, survivor of betrayal, a woman reborn from ashes, simply existed. Whole, free, mine. If Catherine's story moved you, hit the like button and subscribe for more inspiring tales. What would you have done? Would you have forgiven Marcus? Let us know in the comments. If you know someone who's been underestimated or pushed aside, share this with them. Sometimes we all need a reminder that we're stronger than we think. Don't forget notifications for our next story. Thank you for watching, and remember what George told Catherine. You are a giant. Now prove it.